I almost forgot. That's important.
That's important.
You ready?
Jeremy and Ramona, welcome to our podcast. Come on in and we'll have a blast. I'm so scared.
Of that intro?
No, of what we're going to talk about today. How do you feel about it, Jeremy?
I feel good. This one's mine, right?
That one's yours.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm going to drink.
yeah.
Cheers.
The watermelon wine is definitely
Cheers.
helpful.
Cheers. It really is.
I'm a little worried. What are we talking about?
We're going to be talking about politics.
Politics.
Yeah, I like how we kind of harmonize that. We like set it up at the same time.
Yeah.
Yours is so quiet.
You're going to have to just
You have to
scream.
really talk loud.
Yeah.
I'm so nervous, guys.
That's perfect.
That's really good,
That's
actually.
the perfect volume.
Yeah, just yell.
I don't want to yell.
You have to yell.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
So,
Yeah, how do we start?
Should we go around and say why we're very nervous and uncomfortable about talking about the subject?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Ramona, why are you nervous and uncomfortable?
Because I, feel incredibly dumb. Like I'm not in a position to tell anyone about what they should think for politics. Like I think people should believe what they believe in, depending on their research, and I hope they are researching facts, but I just feel like people are so sensitive about
YouTube.
Politics.
YouTube's a great resource.
Yeah.
YouTube videos.
Reddit.
Reddits, subreddits, and whatnot. QAnon mostly.
QAnon.
Is that on Reddit or is that a different thing?
I think that might be
different thing.
different.
Okay, cool. I was testing you guys. You're like,
We
actually,
obviously don't know, from what I've heard.
But I feel like we shouldn't be really talking about
like specifics.
the specific of politics.
It's just more of the essence.
The idea. Yeah, the essence of
I mean, just
being
the fact
political.
that we're so nervous about it, I think says a lot about like the general feelings and vibes about politics right now, or just in general, like
I feel a little
It's very divisive, right?
Yeah.
Or no? Yeah?
Yeah. And I feel like there's so many different opinions. You
Yeah.
don't really know on the surface level what is right or wrong. And I feel like politics in itself gatekeeps itself from the average person. And I might be wrong about that.
That's true.
I might be wrong through this entire thing. I'm just
Yeah.
going to say that right
We
now.
could all be
none
wrong.
of us are right about any of this. This is disclaimer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. None of us are
None of us
political
are,
science
yeah, we're
majors.
both
Oh,
coming from a
Lord.
place of, being enormously educated on it. But
My head hurts. Jeremy, why are you scared?
yeah, like you're just looking at us.
No, I'm not. Well, the thing is, like, because they're the people who are into politics. They have such a strong opinion
Yeah. Across the board.
across
that
the
is
board.
what I see.
Yeah, in every
Yeah.
way, and it's like they've obviously done their own research and have come to the conclusion that this is the absolute.
Yeah.
And
It's almost religious.
Yeah, it is.
Does that deter you from getting into it and learning more? Because like sometimes it does for me. Like when somebody's like so like it makes you feel like, well, okay, well I'm just an idiot. So I mean, what's the point of me diving deeper when I'm never going to match the passion that you have for it.
Thank you so much for saying that because that is how I feel.
And cut.
Great episode.
I love learning about anything. Very open-minded. But when someone is coming at me with an aggression of this is how it should be,
Yeah.
it scares me because I want to have the freedom to have my own opinion about things and not have someone be upset at me. And I feel like in politics, when you don't agree with someone, so often emotions get involved, right?
Yeah. Even if you're trying to figure it out, even if it's like you're behind and because there's like, I feel like it's, I don't know, everyone's on their different journey of like understanding and there's so many, it's so vast also. Yeah. It's so vast. There's so much that like to learn and know. And there's so many, I don't know, and a lot of people focus on one thing. And it's like, if that's not the thing that you know about or are passionate about, then it's like you're a bad person.
Right.
And you're like, maybe I just haven't learned about it yet. Like, give me a chance. You know, I don't know.
Politics is in everything.
Yeah. And so it's tough. It's tough because sometimes it's so like, there's so much to it that you're just like, I'm out, you know? And I don't want to like lose friends. Well, like lose friends over it or like, I don't want to be the person like divides people or makes people feel weird. And
I agree.
because it can make people feel really weird really fast.
I
That's
agree.
why we feel weird right now.
It's hard to draw the line between seeing someone for their political opinions and seeing someone for the human being that they are. Because I can see someone who has opposing political views, and depending on how they are as a human being, I can still respect that person.
Yeah, 100%. And some people can't though, which is great. Is I feel like happening more now on both sides.
What is happening more?
Like people will be like, if you don't believe what I believe, then I don't like you as a person. Like they don't even like try to see what they're like as a person. They're just like, I already know you're a shitty person based on because you believe this.
What do you think that stems from? Why do you think people feel that way?
I mean, there's definitely prejudgments. Like, you know, if so, like on the freeway, going back to, I've already talked about QAnon. So someone has like a giant Q on the back of their car, and it's like, you know, I'm just like, whoa. You know, like I am kind of prejudging that person, and I probably shouldn't.
That's what we do is like we like try to figure people out as quickly as possible. Like we're just trained to like our brains recognize patterns and like put people in holes and like.
Yeah, I guess we're very tribal
we're like,
in
that's
nature.
How we are, so it's hard to get out of that. I think for people, like they have to figure you out and like associate you with something.
I guess it's like safe, or it's like our primitive brains try to like
what tribe are you
categorize people so that we can feel safe or whatever. Like we're trying to like, it's like self-preservation. Like, are you with me or against me? I need to figure this out quickly. And they're just like, let me place you. If you're in this box, if I put you in this box, I can be like, okay, you're safe.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it definitely has to do with feeling safe and feeling fear.
Yeah.
'Cause
Probably belonging too, honestly.
Right.
Yeah. But that probably goes along with feeling safe. Because if you're with this team,
You feel safe.
yeah.
But I feel like every time I initially feel repulsed about a certain political belief, I try to catch myself and slow down and really wonder where they're coming from. Because they make sense to themselves.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
Yeah, you're like, let me hear how you got to that point. Like, I want to at least give you the benefit of the doubt. At least, like, hear you out. And be like, oh, I can see how you got there. Based on, like, as you talk to someone, you go, oh, okay. With your circumstances, that makes sense, I guess, you know?
yeah.
And then even if you don't agree with it, you could be like, I can understand why you think that or support that or whatever. And then you can still, you can still be humans.
Humaning.
That's what we're doing.
What's a deal breaker for you guys politically? like has someone's political beliefs ever like severed a certain relationship for you?
I had an ex who was very
That's not what I was thinking.
Oh.
What were you thinking?
No, keep going.
Keep it going. You got it.
No. Tell me.
No, that was
No, but
Let's hear it, Jeremy. What happened?
no, I just you have exes.
Hell yeah, you
I don't
do.
have any. I'm just
She's just
Never had an ex before.
I don't know. I just had an ex that was very on the opposite side of the spectrum, or the opposite, side of the aisle.
Obviously, you guys dated each other
Yeah.
at the very least.
And like, yeah, the parents and everything was, and it's easy to like, well, yeah, you kind of brush it off like, oh, it'll be fine. But like, and there definitely was arguments and times where it was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me, like,
Yeah.
this is crazy.
Yeah.
And like, I think I tried to brush it off, and then now that I'm not together with this person anymore, realizing like, wow, that would have been a huge like dumpster fire. Like with like, when, if it like progressed to that point, like just, like with like kids and all that stuff, like that would have been a disaster. Cause it's like, especially if that person was so passionate about it, it's like where like your kids would be like so confused. And it doesn't mean that you have to be with someone that like aligns with you perfectly, but if the other person's like super like hardcore, it could probably get messy.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, it's weird. Cause then like, I don't know, it kind of happens a lot too, I guess. But I guess it's like, if you can control it, not control it, but if you could choose, it's like a little bit easier to like align on certain things, or not even align. It's like, I guess if someone's just super passionate about something that you're not so passionate about, it can be like, or that you're passionate about the opposite way.
You can be allowed to be passionate about different things. I think it's just understanding that the other person is, allowed to feel the same. Like if you.
That's true. Yeah, there has to be
like,
space
there
for
has
both
to be
people.
Mutual respect of each other's passions. It can't be like, okay, well, you believe that, and I just have to deal.
Yeah.
I think that's where the
Then
problem was.
Yeah,
Because
that's the problem.
in that relationship, I didn't feel like there was space for both of us to have our beliefs. So it felt like this person's beliefs are going to try to overtake. It's going to try to be like, this is the belief,
I think that's such a good
That's-
point.
That's rough. Because relationships, you need space to both be individuals, and then you can come together and be stronger,
Right.
whether you agree on certain things or not. But you have to have space and respect for your own thing.
Bottom line, it comes down to respecting the other person.
Yeah.
Like, you could have strong opinions. You can be passionate about whatever you're passionate about. But once you lose the respect that you should have for another human being because your opinions are different, then that's when things get messy.
I agree. Yeah. The space and the respect, yeah. It can get messy for sure. So it's like, I guess it's just if you're, yeah, it's just like looking out for those red flags, I guess. Is like, is this person allowing me to like be on my journey and believe what I believe in? Maybe I'll come around and be like, hey, actually, I think you're right. But is the person respecting me enough to leave enough space for me to like figure it out and not just be so dominating and being like,
Yeah.
you're an idiot for thinking this, or
Why do
why
people
aren't you?
do that?
I don't know.
Why do people do
Well,
that?
It's ironic because a lot of the times, people are so aggressive and passionate about it because they feel like society and whatever it is pushing certain ideas onto them. But then sometimes they end up doing the same thing to like other people, right? Like pushing it onto them. And it's just like this cycle. Like it's very hypocritical sometimes.
I totally agree.
That's my hot take.
I don't think it's a hot take.
No? Oh.
I think it's just a take. I think it's a good take.
It's a good take. It's a good take. But so yeah, what can you do about that? I guess, is it just you look out for?
You can
Run.
It's the run button. It's the run sound.
Oh yeah, you don't have headphones on. I was like, what do you mean? What is that?
Yeah, I feel like if you don't have that mutual respect, then the problem is deeper than something that's political. It's something that's
so true.
That's humaning. It's so dumb. It's so dumb.
That's great.
And that's
Dude,
why we're
that's
here.
unreal. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's it is yeah. What did you say again?
What?
It's deeper. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's deeper. It's deeper. You're realizing like, oh, this person, it's more than just political. It's like, oh, this person just doesn't respect me in general, maybe.
Yeah.
Or respect people
Yeah.
in general. Like they
Yeah.
think their opinion is like the opinion, and it's like, Jesus. Like, so like you see the narcissists and the like,
I mean, there's got to be like another point of view to this where, I don't know. Celi, what do you think? Do you think that if someone disagrees with you politically and they're not willing to be open, that's like a narcissistic kind of quality?
I mean, it could be that the person is, a terrible human being, or there's something wrong with them. Or it could be like that they're like, they just want to be seen. And because they want to be seen and they feel like they have been, like, for whatever reason, like not respected, then like you meet them and they want you to validate whatever it is that they're feeling and seeing. And I think we all like have our traumas and stuff, and some people pour it into politics and they pour it into that. So like it could,
so they use politics to like
Yeah,
fill
like,
up the
validate
void.
me, like see me, like I'm right?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah. My friend
they
sent me.
find like a group like online that's like, oh my gosh, these people are the same as me, and like that feeds into that.
Do you guys have anything that you use outside of politics to validate yourselves via community? I'm just asking for people who might not be so into
Yeah.
politics.
Yeah.
How do they relate to this?
I mean, I get it obviously through things like jiu-jitsu. I play pickleball. We talked about this.
I'm ready to play.
Are you?
I've been waiting.
Oh. Awkward. She's like, just leaves the room. Yeah, I play pickleball, and I like.
God, you do?
Yeah, dude, it's really fun. It's the fastest growing sport in the U.S. right now.
I
so-
hear that it's so fun. And I imagine like,
Stop trying to push that on me. Just kidding.
does it look like handball? I'm picturing handball in my head.
No,
Badminton.
it's like badminton with a shorter. It's like a shrunken. It's like if you could stand on a ping pong table.
Made a baby.
What?
Like badminton and tennis made a baby. That's pickleball.
What does that even mean?
Well, I should take you to play. We should play. We should all play.
Yeah, I'm down.
Okay, but that's like where you could get validation from.
Pickleball players are scary though. I once saw somebody like get injured and start bleeding. The ambulance came. It was crazy.
He was like 90 years old,
safe
dude.
out
He
there,
was like
pickleball
90, dude. He
Oh
it's
my gosh! So you're like because of his age?
Wow,
No.
he doesn't matter?
Yeah,
What?
dude.
What is your view on social security?
No, I love old people. Old people. I train so many old people, and they're so great and sweet, and I'm sweet to them. We were simpatico.
Just sweet
They're
stuff.
sweet, but this guy like tried to go back for a ball and he tripped and he hit his head on the wall and he started bleeding, and then the EMT had to come. It was just unfortunate. Like if you're over 60 something, just no. Pickleball is perfect for you. Just sometimes it's like I have multiple clients who I train, personal train that play pickleball that I met through pickleball, and I was talking to one the other day and she was like, yeah, like. I just need to learn. Oh, no. We were talking about, I guess, her and someone else saying that we shouldn't, there's certain balls you shouldn't go for. Like, you don't have to go for every ball.
Yeah.
Like, if something goes over your head, you don't have to go for it.
That's how I feel about politics.
Yeah, dude. Tie a little bow on it. That's true. If something goes over your head, you're like, well, I'm just going to let that
It's
one
just-
go.
Yeah, and that's okay for me.
You're like, I'll just let him have that point.
You don't want to hit your head on a wall.
Yeah,
You-
I really don't. Because
you
if
don't.
I get too deep, I will have to sit in an ambulance for sure.
You don't
Yeah, like you don't want to get hurt. Ambulances are expensive too. So.
Yeah. Celi, you got a tribe that you belong to feel validated. Validated. Blah.
Blah, blah, blah. Agree.
No, well, I mean, not really. I don't know. That's hard. I've never like. I don't know. I mean, I was in a sorority, but like.
Oh, so hesitant to talk about it.
Yeah, I am. I was hesitant to talk about it.
That's political.
Yeah.
But see, like, it was not. We didn't talk about politics. Like, it wasn't like.
No, but the sorority system in general is like just political. Like, right? There's like a president and a.
Oh yeah.
You gotta play. You gotta like impress them. You gotta like make it into the sorority, and then you have to like.
You have to like play the game, I guess, and like kind of
Mm-hmm.
know the right people.
She's better at politics than we think. What do you say? Know the right people?
Yeah, but I didn't know the right people, so I wasn't super active in sorority politics.
Wow.
But I mean, I don't know.
You just did it for the cheap vodka.
Yeah, the vibes. No, I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question.
Well,
It's a weird question.
like
I just feel like I've never felt super strongly, or I never had a very strong opinion about like politics in general. Not that I never cared.
but you did like drama and stuff, right? That was like a group that you got
Are you
validation
talking
from.
about groups or
Yeah, we're talking about
Very
groups. Am I right?
confused by the question, I guess.
Groups that you feel validated in.
Oh.
Missed the topic altogether.
Because I thought we were talking about politics.
We are.
I mean, it kind of relates because everything's political.
Yeah.
I'm just
like a
saying, like,
group?
other than say, like, you're a part of a QAnon group and you feel validated through being in QAnon, like, is there anything for you personally?
I'm not like, yeah, I guess my sorority and like in drama in high school, but like, I guess I have always been sort of part of something to feel like, oh, these are my friends and, you know, we can all relate on this in this way, and I have a place to, you know, hang out and
Yeah.
We all need that, right?
Yeah,
I think
so.
some people gravitate towards politics as like, this is gonna be my this is my group, this is my team, and like I'm gonna yell at people on Facebook
Yeah.
and defend my team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Sport teams.
Like people get in fights at every single sporting event. People like beat the shit out of each other.
See, even that, I'm like,
It's like so crazy. Like this girl I know went to a Dodger game and she's a Giants fan. I'm a Giants fan because I'm from Northern California. And I am. San Francisco Giants baseball.
together anymore.
I like Bumdinger.
Bumgardner.
Yeah.
What?
He's cool.
Madison Bumgardner.
Is he a bumblebee? I don't know.
He blows good snot rockets.
he was a pitcher for the Giants. But she was like walking. She went to the bathroom. She's at Dodger Stadium and like was walking back to her seat, and she had like Giants shirt on. Some guy came up and just slapped her on the back, and she turned around. She's like, "Ah!" Turned around. And he was like, double birds, like, "Fuck you, bitch!" And she was like, "What the fuck? I don't even fucking know you."
I hate that.
And I was like, "Yo, it's so aggressive. Like that guy should have gone to jail, you know?" And I'm like, because she's wearing a Giants shirt at a Dodger Stadium.
But do you think in that case he was just like an aggressive asshole and he was using that to like fucking harass people?
Yeah.
That could very much
Like,
be the case.
You are backed by this group, and therefore you can like blame it on that.
Yeah.
For your behavior.
Be like, it's because you're a Giants fan, but really, you're just a dick.
Yeah, totally.
Honestly.
Yeah, true. That's facts.
It makes me so sad. Like, I would never be cruel to someone based on
Based on
You're
like,
doing the wrong thing.
yeah.
yeah,
based on having a different opinion.
I would only be cruel to someone if they're not being a good human.
Right.
You know, that's really the only time when it's like valid. But if they're just like wearing a shirt that you don't like,
Wait, so what did she do? Like,
she just like kept walking and went back to her seat and was like, "What the fuck was that?" It was like, you know,
What could she
just
have
got
done?
assaulted at a, you know, yeah. What she couldn't have, yeah,
He was probably drunk.
yeah,
but yeah.
it was like crazy,
If she did something, he could have done something worse.
yeah.
It's so sad.
And like nobody else saw. I'm sorry, I was just very hungry.
I know. I'm like, where's this freaking security? You know, what? Oh, drinky. But yeah. So that's like the ugly side of politics. Like, obviously, like if it works efficiently, it's supposed to like get things done, and you know, for the greater good of everyone.
Yeah.
That's like the idea of it, right?
Kinda. That's what it should be. I don't know. Like I don't know.
Well, it's assuming that each side is willing to listen to the other and, you know, like balance each other out. Like, you know, in terms of policies, like, oh, this doesn't work for this reason, so we're gonna, you know, argue so that things are balanced, and it doesn't work that way.
And I feel like ideally the system is set up so that we can vote and that we can handle things in a very diplomatic way for the people, but then it's like the people who make it very difficult to do.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't like that it's turned into like who's your team, where wear your jersey,
Yeah.
like fly your flag. Like I don't like that it's turned into like sports almost now.
Yeah.
Where it's just like
it really is.
you're with us or you're not, or you're against us, and we're gonna like fuck everyone else.
It doesn't matter. Now it's not even just that you believe something. It's like, what are you going to do about it?
What do you
Like-
mean by that?
Like, it's not about, like, you could be on whatever side, but people aren't judging, like you could have the same beliefs as somebody else, but if they're like, well, I did this and I'm angry about this, like, and you're not acting the same way that they are, or feeling or being as passionate about they are. I think, you know, now it's about like how you're acting and what you're doing about it. It's not so much like,
Yeah.
You mean, what do you mean, like
I'm just thinking about what she
oh, like if they're passionate about something.
you could agree and you could be like, yeah, I totally get you, and like I hear you,
And have your own take on what to do about it. And
but if you're not doing the same thing, or you're not willing to like be as like angry about it or upset about it, then that's what people are kind of hung up on.
Oh, like people get mad at other people for not being as like
acting the same way.
like
passionate
if
about
you're
certain topics.
a Dodgers fan
Yeah.
and you don't slap someone's back,
Yeah.
and other Dodgers get mad at you because they're like, how dare you let this Giants person walk by you?
Yeah.
Like you're a wuss.
Yeah, like do you even care about the Dodgers?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's frustrating. Because you're like, well, I don't know. Like I just want to cheer my team on, and
Why can't you be a nice Dodgers?
yeah, yeah, just be a nice one. They're out there. Your dad's nice to me. He's a Dodger fan.
Yeah.
I was there supervising, but
Cause what?
I was there supervising.
It's good.
She brought me to a Dodger game.
Yeah.
During Giants.
I was wearing Giant stuff, but no. So like it was just gonna be us, but then like her dad, mom,
Invited himself.
brother, and his
Yeah.
girlfriend
Birthday game.
sat. Like it's for my birthday. That they sat right behind us, like the row two behind us. And it was so funny because they're all like decked out in Dodger stuff, and I'm like the only one wearing Giant stuff, and they're just like, and the Giants lost.
Well, let me ask you this.
Okay, ask me.
Let's say that the Giants are not making the the final
The World
World Series.
The World Series.
The World Series.
I almost said World Cup too. I was
And
like, yo,
it's,
how strong is this?
and it's gonna be the Dodgers,
Yeah,
and they're playing against, say, like,
like the Rockies.
yeah.
some
Then
team I don't
who
care.
would you?
I would want the Dodgers to win.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
They would make like her family happy, and I have other Dodger fan friends.
You're obviously not
Even
a real Giants.
wow, even though I really don't like the Dodgers, it would be like, well, I guess more. Or if it was like maybe like the Phillies or some like random, or like Boston, where I'm like West Coast versus East Coast. I'm like, oh, West Coast. Rather have a West Coast team win.
Yeah.
It's like, all right.
Yeah, it's like whoever's closest to.
Yeah, I'd be like, all right, yeah. Like, I'm not that. Some people would say that's crazy though, but that's
Really?
how. Yeah, some people be like, no, like,
Yeah.
I want them to lose it, no matter what.
Like both teams.
Yeah, both teams.
To
But like,
lose.
but that's kind of like how it is in politics, though.
It is. It is. Like
Yeah.
in voting, like if your candidate doesn't win,
Yeah.
then you like stop voting. And
You're just like,
for me, I'm like,
and like, but it is. I don't know. What do we do about it though? What can we do about it? Do we do anything? Do we just keep
about what?
about like
The hostility of politics?
Yeah.
About what?
I don't know. How does it get better? Do we just like only control what we could control, and then just like hope people, and we just surround ourselves with other people?
I mean, that's the point. Like, you can only control yourself and how you treat others, and I think that's the point. Like, the people that are trying to push their politics on you aren't understanding that. Like, you can only, believe what you believe and hope that, other people see like the same things, but you can't push that on other people, and we can only do this, lead by example.
What are some actionable things that you feel like you can do based off of that belief?
I mean, I think it. No, I think, to hear people out and not just shut, like, oh, you believe this. Like, I'm not going to hear what you have to say. Like, I'm not going to hear you out and consider your feelings and opinions. And also, like, respecting how they're feeling and, like, what they believe, and not being like, well, you're an asshole because you believe this. Like, how we were talking about not connecting the two things. Like, if they're your friend and they're a good person, but they don't necessarily have the same beliefs as you, or, like, politically, not just being like, oh, well, you can't be my friend for that reason.
That's good. So like just hearing people out more, and getting to the heart of who they are.
And then the interesting thing is, I'm going to play devil's advocate is that sometimes some people can have very extreme beliefs. Like, what if they're a Nazi?
True.
And it's just like, you can't just, or they believe in like, I don't know, racial, what is it, washing or whatever. And it's just like, you can't just.
That's true.
You're just like, well, you're a nice guy.
Yeah.
There is like a line.
Like, it's hard to draw that line.
There
And
is a
for
line.
everyone, that line is freaking different.
That's true. That's very true. Cause that's very true. That's tough.
It's so freaking tough.
I think that's what's so rough about it. Yeah. The line's so different for people, like where they cut it off.
There is no, I hate to say this, there's no real universal right versus wrong here.
That's true. That's true. I guess that's what's so crazy. What's so like, I don't know, confusing about it is that it's so like, there's no definite. It's so just like up to every single individual. So everyone is like different with how, with what they deem as like, where they draw the line, where like, if you believe this and then I can't be your friend, instead of like, well, why do you believe that? Like everyone's line is different. And I don't know. I actually like, it's interesting to get in those conversations because I feel like a lot of people, well, I don't do it a lot. I feel like there was a moment like whenever everything during the pandemic was very like intense and like those conversations were happening more. Mm-hmm. But I feel like that it's happening less. Like people are a little bit like exhausted from it maybe for now, but maybe it'll start to happen again where people like are open to conversations like that, like get to the root of like, well, why do you believe that? And like actually like helping each other grow and like, I think the conversations help you grow and like, you try to like really figure out like, why do I believe that? And why do you believe that? And you can kind of, if as long as you're with like safe people you feel safe with, like, you know, it's cool to have conversations. Like some of my best friends have sort of opposing things, and it's interesting to like pick their brain of like, why do you feel like that? And like they'll both like, we'll hear each other out and be like, oh, that's interesting. Like I didn't think of it like that. And like, oh, so we can both like learn from each other and grow and either like change our minds, or like it'll confirm more like why we believe what we believe. And so it's, as long as it's the right person you're having that conversation with, I feel like it can be very constructive.
Yeah. It's true.
I was just thinking about like core values and like what people, like if you believe that everyone should be treated with respect, or everyone, you know, inequality or whatever, like even if you're like on opposing teams or sides or whatever, and like I was just thinking about your friends, like you both, on both sides, you know, you care about people, on both sides, you know, you care, you know, about people's lives and that they're happy and whatever. Like if you know that to your core, you know that person's open to hearing a different perspective. And like
sometimes the problem is one side might not believe that the other side cares about people, even though they do.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
Like it works because your friends know that about you. But like that's not that's not true about everybody, for sure.
Yeah, so I guess having those conversations in a space where the respect is there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Back to the respect.
Yeah.
Like it's much more constructive if there's mutual respect. You know, I think a lot of it comes down to respect and like remembering that we're both humans and we both have feelings and we both have experiences and we're coming from different places, and just respecting their story and their experience and their how they got to that conclusion, and then vice versa. Like they have to do that to you too. And it's just, again, going back to like having room for both people, both opinions, respect both people respecting each other's opinions, respecting each other. And then that's not, I think the biggest thing is just like, if you don't respect someone, you could totally just shut them down and be like, no, fuck you. Everything you're saying is wrong. You're dumb. You don't get it. But I know, you know, you can totally just be like, dehumanize someone, like, no, you're like, you know, kind of thing. But if you respect them, then you'll hear them, and I feel like you can actually make real progress instead of, you know, just, you know, instead of trying to just win a conversation, you'd actually like learn.
I love that.
What do you think? You love it?
I like what you said about not wanting to win, but like there's no winning. It's just like listening and learning from one another and not trying to win, because then you're not listening to the other person. You're just trying to one up them. Yeah. Every time.
I agree.
Me too.
It's been a good talk.
Yeah, I'm glad we did this, even though it was uncomfortable to start off with.
It was. You feel better?
Yeah, I feel great.
Do you feel better?
I do.
I feel a little better.
Me too.
I hope they feel better.
For sure.
Yeah, we hope you feel better.
That's why we came.
If you don't, I'm just kidding.
And if you don't,
fuck you.
fuck you.
Yes.
Run.
That was great. High five.
I love how I was holding this whole time.
High
It
five.
wasn't even working. Like,
It was working.
It was working?
It was a little bit.
You brought your mic over to
I
me.
would
I'm
bring
like,
it to
okay,
help.
well, what's the point of this?
I'll bring it to help.
Okay.